Organic oxygen compounds. So we're going to start looking at adding oxygens into our organic compounds. R is going to represent any hydrogen radical, and by a hydrogen radical, we're referring to any chain of carbons that we have. And the first ones that we're going to look at are called alcohols. Alcohols contain the hydroxyl group, which is OH. We learned this earlier as hydroxide, and that's fine when it's in ionic compounds, but we are not doing ionic compounds. We're doing organic compounds, so that OH is now named a hydroxyl group. The ending on alcohols is OL, which is very convenient because they match. And so to name an alcohol, the best way to go about doing any of these functional groups is to draw it out. So I have CH3, OH. I know that my prefix for one carbon is meth, so I'm going to call it methanol. So I'm going to take my methane and make it methanol. If we have to draw ethanol, let's follow the same steps. Eth is the prefix we know for two carbons. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, and then I'm going to add that OH on the end. I'm going to go back in and make 4 bonds on all of my carbons. And oxygen will have lone pairs of electrons, which you don't need to draw in, but that's how oxygen ends up with its 8 electrons. Remember that it has those lone pairs that are there. And then to draw 2 propanol, let's do the same thing. Prop is our prefix for 3 carbons. So 1, 2, 3. And the 2 is telling us that that hydroxide group is on the second carbon. So I can put OH. And now go in and I'll fill in my hydrogens so that we're done. Ethers are related to alcohols. They are ROR, so meaning that hydrogen at the end has been replaced by another chain of carbons. It can either be the same length of carbons as it was in the first chain, or it can be a different number. And so if we need to go ahead and name this group, the easiest thing to do is to draw it. So I have CH3, I have that O, and then I have CH2, and then CH3. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, okay, my one carbon is meth, and so I'm going to call it meth. I'm going to add oxy in to represent that O. And then 2 carbons is eth, and so I'll call it meth, oxy, ethane. Now, if we need to draw one, prop, oxy, pentane. Prop means 3 carbons, so 1, 2, 3. Oxy refers to my O, and then pentane is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to go ahead and just fill in my hydrogens. Remember, I don't need to add any hydrogens to oxygen because it has those lone pairs of electrons that are there. And so I have prop, oxy, pentane.